Hey guys, how's it going? It's Kire here with another Infinite Magicraid video. And in today's video, I want to talk about what's going on currently in the calendar here. Because we got a ton of events. A lot of these are very good. I'm just going to give my thoughts on these. We have a new event that is unheard of, never been done before from the time at least I've been playing this game. Maybe they had something like this in beta. Maybe they had something like this in the beginning of the game. Me personally, I've never seen anything like this. And all of the devs and all the people that update us in the content creator program are all on vacation. So I don't think that there's a single content creator knows what's going on here when it comes to this. So the combination, usually these games like to do this. They'll kind of dangle a carrot in front of you with one, but then they'll hit you with the better thing later. So they always want to keep that going. So at least this game updates it in the calendar for something like this. But right now, there's actually a pretty good, in my opinion, wish event overall. When it comes to these characters, you got Quinlan, you got Ascendo, and you got Mammoth. And I think all these are good characters. Even Turf is a good character. The only one I would be bummed about is Dario. I just don't think he's that good unless you get him exclusive 3. And then even when he is exclusive 3, he's okay. And then down here, you have a very good character in Bissidin, but arena specific. And then all the rest are pretty bad. So overall, I'm not the biggest fan of this Wish event, in my opinion. But I think a lot of people like it because the top end of it is incredible. Whereas you could get Quinlan. This is like an absolute amazing character, so I can see why people would go for him. Or even Mammoth for Arena. I also think he's going to be very good in... I want to try him out. Because attack down 2 on a pretty good chance here, 50... 60, 70% chance to be able to do that, or a Horrify, and or second stage, yeah, it hits twice. So this is such a good auto tech right here. I want to use him in dungeons and consistently apply attack down 2 on bosses. I think that alone makes it very good, let alone the rest of his kit. And then probably gets better in PvP when it comes, like, when he gets more exclusives, but a lot of it just gets countered by Ben Austin. So I think he is a good character. Don't know if he's an amazing character, but I think he's up there. I think he's a really solid character. So it's like, I was consider pulling for this guy because he's good. I already have Quinlan, so an exclusive here would be good. Exclusive here on Ascendo would be good for me. All of those things are fantastic. But there is, the kind of the bummer portion of this in pulling a Dario, and then the kind of bummer portion of pulling Turf. I think Turf is really good, but compared to these three, it's a noticeable drop off in how good that character is. But the trade-off, though, for not pulling is going to be missing out on whatever this event is. And we don't know what this is. So I just wanted to warn people that there might be even better rewards for this gift to heaven. It might be more like guarantee rewards, but you need to pull X amount. So have a lot of stuff ready to go, but you get the guaranteed stuff like you would in a event like this, for example. They just have a list based on how much you pull, then you get rewards. Whereas here, you're getting a rate up for specific characters. So I don't know if it's worth it because it's just an unprecedented event. I just want to warn you, so you go in, you don't feel like you get baited, you pull all your shards here, you're like, okay, I'm going for Quinlan, and then you notice later that there's this undisclosed event that, well, kind of undisclosed because it's in the calendar, but it's not going to... You're not going to know because it's brand new. You might not check. So I figured I'd let you guys know there. And then other stuff in the event here. We have 2 events kind of overlapping, or you kind of have to pick one or the other. And it's the Double Dragon or the Triple Equipment Wish Drop. And I think both of these are really good. But in this game, I think food over everything. I think you can't go wrong with as much food as possible. So depending on how much you're spending, you might need to pick one or the other. But if you can spend the energy, I'm choosing Double Dragon Cliff Drops every single time. I think it's probably the top priority thing to do in this game when it comes to energy, because you can't go wrong with more food in this game, because you have the Sanctuary to keep getting you stronger. You can advance in Tower of Mark with a bigger roster, and then you can advance in Faction Abyss with a bigger roster. So you can't go wrong here. You're constantly going to keep improving in some type of way from this, whether it be directly or indirectly. And then the big thing is just getting those first 5 characters at 5 Ascend. So a lot of people are there as well, where they just, of course, they're going to go food because they need to finish their first team. But I'm always happy to level up another hero. Even if I don't have the books, I still want to keep leveling up heroes to prioritize. Like a Tower of Mark character is going to prioritize, and then after that, it's going to be Faction Abyss. And then eventually, we're going to go so wide that you're going to eventually get Agatha down the line. And then as you're advancing in Tower of Mark, you might not necessarily be advancing in Red Mark, but you're going to be unlocking Catherine's, which will in turn make your Red Mark easier because Catherine will get another upgrade, for example. And the big one, Exclusive 3 is insane because then it goes on a 3-turn cooldown. So that is why I always prioritize food over pretty much anything else. Because yes, you can target this one and have the triple rate up and go for whatever you're looking for, but you don't know if you're going to actually get a good piece. So I like to do those during the thing that's going on with Marius, for example, like in this event. And I made sure to double dip. So see how this one's in settlement? I didn't do any farming on Marius until Marius came through. So I knew that there was 1 day of overlap of the equipment artifact event and Marius. So I did all my farming on Marius on the last day of this to then finish that one out, because it's way easier to finish that event than it is to finish the Marius event. And now I am here for the Marius one. I need to close this one out, but I have plenty of time to do it. So I'm going to get the Dragon Eggs first and then loop back around and get Marius. But if you're this pot committed, you know, obviously these things I'm going to value. This is probably one of those rare scenarios where I'm going to value this well over Dragon Eggs, you know, because I'm right there, for example. But I'm a spender, so it's a lot of that doesn't apply to me. Then let's check the calendar and see if there's anything else worth talking about. Guild Arena competition, hero training goals, those are all kind of boring. We have a Voyager competition. This might be worth talking about because they've been changing these. The current one, from what I've been doing, like some of these are actually kind of worth it when it comes to the Voyage stuff because of how they've been changing it. And it's getting to the point where it might be worth saving the gems for it, but I'm not sure yet. I need to do the math and see if it's actually worth it. The main thing is just getting Dragon Eyes. I've lowered the epic versions of the Dragon Eyes, and I'm hoping they have a consistent way of doing that where it's actually kind of reasonable. We had this one in the hero match. This one didn't seem too bad. I believe I just bought the $5 pack, and it was pretty easy, but I could have just been buying the attempts with gems every day until I got that epic Phantom Eye. So it's one of those things that I think is worth considering, or at least getting to that point. There was a ton of Supremes in there. I don't know if that portion was worth it, but those epic things, I look at these when I'm farming them. I don't look at them as for epic heroes. I only look at dupes as the thing that makes the epic go to exclusive. I consider these as a shard to a legendary Dragon Eye. I don't even think about putting this on an epic character. You could consider it in the very beginning, maybe if you have a super impactful thing like getting Whim exclusive 2, for example, so he goes twice there. That might be a time where it's worth it, but there's very few times where it's actually worth dropping one of these in a epic when you can save up 10 and get it for a legendary. Or, you just ball out and spend $100 on an exclusive, which, I'm just not going to do. I have bought the $40 ones, and I believe the $40 ones pop up when you finish out the hero quest. I've seen, I just noticed it once I finished the hero quest, got Eric, then it immediately popped up. And that might have been the trigger last time when I got the previous one, but I'll buy them for $40. So it allows me to try out other characters without spending an absolute insane amount of money. So I'm thinking that's pretty much it. That's all the stuff I wanted to talk about. Basically, to recap here, we have the new Wish event that we never have seen before. So if you're really dead set on getting one of these heroes here, I don't blame you for wanting to pull. But it's kind of like the opportunity cost. It's like, one of those game shows where it's like, do you want this prize here, or would you like to open door number 2? And you don't know if door number 2 has $0 or if it's actually like the big jackpot prize. So not sure if it's worth it if you're in the situation that you're looking to pull. And then there's the difference between the triple rate up which is probably my second favorite, especially in the early, like when I'm first starting to play and I wanted to get enough effect hit. This was a big deal for me to be able to get characters at least usable in the beginning. So might be worth it in the beginning, but also in the beginning, you need food. So it's like, I'm always going to say get food first. So I think this is the priority here. And those are the two main things that are going on, the two choices to make. That's going to do it here for this video. If you guys want to keep watching, I have another video where me and Viltrep break down if I should convert Ben Austin to another mythic hero, and you can check that out right here.